All right, let's dive in. Today we're taking a deep dive into the life of Will Smith. You know, the superstar, the box office king, the one and only.
And we're doing it a little differently this time. We're using a biography written for English language learners as our guide.
Exactly. So we'll be uncovering fascinating parts of his story, the stuff you might not know, and we'll be picking up some seriously cool English phrases along the way.
You might think you know Will Smith, but trust me, there's always more to discover.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. He's had this incredible journey. Music, movies, and everything in between.
Well, let's go back to the beginning. Will Smith was born in West Philadelphia in 1968.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Right. A pretty typical middle-class upbringing, nothing that screams Hollywood at first glance.
True. But even back then, there were hints of the star he'd become. He was known as Prince, for his charisma.
So maybe it wasn't just luck. Maybe there was something more, a drive, an ambition that set him apart even then.
Well, the bio mentions he was a fantastic student. He even got a scholarship to MIT. Imagine that. Will Smith, the engineer.
Wow, that's a path not taken. Talk about a different life.
Right. But as we all know, he chose a different path. Music was his calling, his passion.
The bio really emphasizes that phrase, follow your calling. It makes you think, have you ever felt that pull towards something? That undeniable urge to pursue your dreams no matter what?
Definitely. I think everyone's felt that at some point. But in Will Smith's case, it wasn't just about following his passion. He had to overcome some serious obstacles.
You're talking about his financial struggles early on.
Yeah, even with all the success he had with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
It's a good reminder that talent alone doesn't guarantee smooth sailing.
It's wild to think that his journey to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that iconic 90s sitcom, actually started because of a financial crisis. The bio uses a pretty heavy phrase to describe it. Hit rock bottom.
It sounds like those early days of fame came with some tough financial lessons.
Definitely a reminder that even with success, managing your finances is crucial. But what's inspiring is how he turned things around. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air became his launch pad. 6 seasons, a global phenomenon, pure comedic gold.
It really launched him into superstardom.
But he didn't stop there. Even during the peak of his TV success, he set his sights on Hollywood. And wow, did he make a statement.
Independence Day, Men in Black, those were some serious blockbusters. He became this global action hero, this charismatic leading man.
He really showed his range, didn't he? One minute he's this action hero, the next he's this comedic charmer. It's like he deliberately chose roles to prove he wasn't just a funny guy from TV.
Like he was breaking out of any box people tried to put him in.
Totally. And it wasn't all about chasing box office hits either. Remember Ali? He got an Oscar nomination for that role. That was a serious, dramatic performance.
It definitely showcased his acting chops. He poured his heart and soul into portraying Muhammad Ali. It was a transformative role.
But even with all that success, his career wasn't always smooth sailing. He definitely had his share of flops, movies that didn't quite hit the mark.
Right. But what's interesting is how he dealt with those setbacks. He didn't let them define him. Instead, he learned from them, adapted, and kept moving forward.
The bio calls it his ability to turn things around. And it really shows his resilience.
A great example of that is The Pursuit of Happiness.
Absolutely. Playing a struggling single father, that was such a departure from the blockbuster action roles. It felt so raw, so real.
It resonated with audiences on a deeply personal level.
For me, that film shows his evolution as an actor. He was ready to explore these deeper, more complex roles. And let's not forget his personal life, his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith in 1997.
Yeah, a long-lasting Hollywood partnership, not always an easy feat.
And their children, Jaden and Willow, following in their parents' footsteps into the world of entertainment.
It's like a family dynasty in the making.
But amidst all the fame and fortune, Will Smith always emphasizes the importance of hard work, discipline, and gratitude. It's not just about talent. It's about dedication and staying grounded.
A good message for anyone, really.
Especially in an industry that can be so focused on appearances. And speaking of appearances, it's cool how this biography we're using was written for people learning English.
That's right. It highlights these awesome phrases throughout Will Smith's journey, like we just talked about, his ability to turn things around.
It's amazing how these real-life examples make the phrases so much more impactful.
They're not just words on a page anymore. They're like little nuggets of wisdom.
Totally. And then there's stay true to yourself, which perfectly describes Will Smith's authenticity. He's never afraid to be himself, even on the world stage.
Exactly. And how about Take the Leap? Think about his transition from music to acting, his willingness to tackle diverse and challenging roles. He never shied away from taking risks.
He jumped right in, embraced the unknown, and that's a powerful message for all of us, isn't it?
Yeah. Makes you think, take the leap. I mean, where does that resonate with you in your own life?
Ooh, that's a good one. It makes me think about all the times I've held back from doing something because I was afraid to fail. You know?
Yeah, totally.
Like I've always wanted to write fiction, but I always get stuck in those what ifs. What if it's not good enough? What if nobody wants to read it?
It's easy to get trapped in that fear, right?
It is, but listening to Will Smith's story, it's like a reminder that sometimes you just got to go for it.
Take that leap, exactly.
Maybe it's time for me to sign up for that writing workshop I've been thinking about.
There you go. That's the spirit. And what about you? Any leaps you're thinking about taking?
You know, Will Smith's story, it's not just about these big dramatic leaps. It's also about the smaller everyday choices we make.
Right, those little decisions that can add up over time.
Exactly, like being more present, more mindful, savoring those small moments instead of getting caught up in the daily grind.
I love that. That's a great takeaway. And it speaks to something really important about Will Smith's story. It's not just about fame and fortune. It's about real life. It's about the lessons we can all learn from his journey.
Absolutely. It's that human element that makes him so relatable. He's not just this untouchable celebrity. He's someone who's faced challenges, made mistakes, worked hard to achieve his goals, just like all of us.
And seeing how he's evolved both personally and professionally, it's really inspiring. It brings us back to another key takeaway, the importance of staying grounded.
Yeah, despite all the craziness of Hollywood, he's managed to keep his priorities straight.
Strong family ties personal values. It seems like he never lost sight of what truly matters.
It's interesting how those values show up in his career choices, too.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't just going for the big paycheck. He was looking for roles that resonated with him on a deeper level.
Roles that align with his own growth and evolution.
Exactly. And the bio highlights this too, his philosophy of hard work, discipline, gratitude. It's not just about talent. It's about putting in the effort, staying focused, appreciating the journey.
A lot of people forget about the work that goes on behind the scenes.
Right. But it all ties back to that idea of pushing the limits. It's not just about achieving success. It's about constantly striving to be better, to learn and grow both personally and professionally.
And that applies to everyone, not just A-list celebrities.
So true. We all have our own limits to push our own unique potential waiting to be unlocked.
And as we go deeper into Will Smith's story, there's another element that really shines through his passion. That unwavering fire that fuels his drive and keeps him going.
You just feel it, can't you? That energy, that enthusiasm, that pure joy in what he does.
From music to acting to everything in between. It's the driving force behind his creative pursuits.
And it's still burning bright today. He keeps creating, keeps inspiring, keeps pushing boundaries. It's contagious. It makes you think, what's your passion?
What gets you excited? What makes you feel truly alive?
And more importantly, how can you use that passion to push your own limits, to take those leaps towards your dreams?
Those are powerful questions to consider.
We've covered so much in this deep dive, and it feels like we've only scratched the surface.
Will Smith's life is full of twists and turns. There's always more to discover.
But we've definitely gained some valuable insights, haven't we?
Yeah.
His story offers so many lessons about resilience, about pursuing your passions, about staying true to yourself.
Absolutely. And maybe before we jump into the final chapter of his story, we should take a moment to let all this sink in.
Yeah, a little quiet reflection might help us connect the dots between his experiences and our own lives, you know?
Sometimes a pause is all you need to gain a fresh perspective.
Yeah, that quiet moment was good. It really helps to let things settle in, you know, all those twists and turns in his life.
It really makes you think about how someone else's journey can spark so many ideas in your own life.
It's true. And, you know, we've talked about his resilience, his versatility, how dedicated he is to growing. But there's one more thing we haven't touched on, his legacy.
Yeah, his impact goes way beyond Hollywood. What will people remember about him decades from now?
That's a big question. What do you think? What's Will Smith's lasting mark?
Well, I think about the pure entertainment he's given us, you know? Movies, music, those hilarious moments that make you laugh out loud.
He's a true entertainer, that's for sure. 1 minute you're laughing, the next you're tearing up, and then bam, you're on the edge of your seat during some crazy action sequence.
He can do it all. And it's not just about entertainment, right? He's broken down barriers. I mean, a Black man reaching global superstardom like that.
He's a role model for so many people, showing that your background, your circumstances, they don't have to define you.
That's a powerful message. And then there's his philanthropy, all the work he does to support education, social justice, empowering young people. He's using his platform to make a real difference.
It's inspiring to see someone so successful give back like that. It all adds up to this legacy of positivity, inspiration, believing in people.
Yeah, he's not just about fame and fortune. He's about making the world a better place.
You know what gets me? His genuine warmth. That smile. He really seems to believe in the good in people.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about what you achieve for yourself. It's about how you connect with others, how you spread joy, how you make the world a little brighter.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Will Smith's life, what's the one thing that stands out to you? What will you take away from his story?
It's a reminder that you can always reinvent yourself. Embrace change. Chase your passions with everything you've got. Will Smith proves that's possible.
He shows us that our past doesn't have to define us. We can always grow, learn, and create new paths for ourselves.
And speaking of new paths, it's been so cool uncovering these English phrases along the way.
Yeah, it's like watching them come to life in Will Smith's story.
Rise above the odds, stay true to yourself, take the leap. They're not just words anymore. They're like a guide for living a meaningful life.
A reminder that we have the power to shape our own destinies, to overcome obstacles, to make our mark on the world. What an inspiring journey it's been. So as we sign off, I want to leave you with this question. We've seen how Will Smith reinvented himself over the years. What's one area in your life where you'd like to push the limits or maybe even take a leap towards something new?
Think about it. What have you been putting off? What dream have you been holding back from chasing?
Maybe it's time to channel a little bit of that Will Smith spirit and go for it. And if you're feeling inspired, share your thoughts with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing those limits.
And never forget to stay true to yourself. We'll see you on the next Deep Dive.